Hey everybody, welcome back to Dave's Small Engines. A little bit of a shift from the motorcycle stuff that I've been putting out lately. Tell you the truth, I needed a break from it. You can see it in the background over here and all the parts over here on the workbench. But today I have something pretty neat, something I've been wanting to work on for a while. And this is my gas-powered ice auger. It's old, it's branded Eskimo, and it has a Tecumseh engine. Now I picked this up cheap. There's obviously a couple problems with it. Pull starter's out. Don't think it's been ran in a while, but the gas tank is empty. And yeah, I'm hoping to get it running and then show you guys how it works this weekend. Okay, so first problems first. In order to be able to even test to see if this thing's going to run, I need to be able to start it. So let's do the pull cord. Looks like it's just these 3 1/4-inch bolts. I love working on older stuff. Everything made out of metal. This was made in Cumberland, Wisconsin. Pretty cool. And it's still got some rope on there, so I know which way it's supposed to spin. We'll take this bolt out here. And pay close attention to the order that all this stuff comes out in. Spring is still wound up in there. Doesn't look like it's broken at all. That's great. I'll hit that with some lubricant. Who knows how long it's been sitting there for. Just help it out a little bit. And then we're onto the cord. Now, I could potentially reuse this cord. Actually, it doesn't feel too bad. I don't love this fraying up at the top. But let's see if I have some extra cord here, and then we'll replace that. Okay, so I do actually have some extra cord. I have a bag of it. The only reason it's dark is because I actually used it to plug a piston when I was breaking off a crankshaft bolt. So let's measure it out. I'm going to go a little bit longer. Cut it. Okay, so first, before we coil that up, we have to make sure we run it through the housing. It's easily forgettable, even by yours truly. Into here, make a knot, not leaving too much slack. Wrap the rope clockwise. Hand ratchet to finish. Doesn't have to be that tight. The purpose of that catch and then this offset dowel there is so that when you pull the cord, you can see it extend. And this catch extends and then actuates the flywheel. So it hits on there and then spins it over. Look at that, engine's not seized. That's good news. Okay, so part 1 complete. Working pull cord, and we can put it back on. Okay, so let's flip it upside down. So let's pull the spark plug out. Oh, we got the ignition here too. That's cool. So, oh, it's already loose, even though I don't think this is the right size. Okay, so this spark plug looks kind of rough, a little bit corroded there, but maybe if we use a wire brush, that'll be enough to clean it up. There we go, doesn't look too bad. So what I want to do here is make sure that I have this engine lubricated before I start doing any pulling over and spark testing. I don't know if there's any corrosion, or I don't know if there's any issues internally here that are going to be made worse by turning the engine over without any liquid in there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of WD-40, acts as a lubricant, make sure that everything is coated in there to make sure that I'm not causing any damage when I'm testing for spark, which is next. So let's see how that feels now. Not too bad. Okay, so let's look and see if we have any spark. So let's test to see if we have good compression. I could do a compression test, or I can spray some fuel into here and then see if it will start for us. So I've just sprayed some fuel down into the cylinder. Let's get the spark plug back in and see if it'll start. So I have no idea if this is a direct drive system or if there's a clutch in here, but I don't want it to start spinning on the workbench, so why don't I pull it down and we'll see if it'll fire up with that bit of fuel that's in there. Alright, well I'm wondering if I didn't flood the spark plug with all the WD-40 and the gas. So let's pull it off. And we'll pull it over a few times to clear it out. Yeah, so that's soaked. That's what I've done. See all the gas and oil coming out of here. So let's spray a little bit more gas in. Should do it. Throw the spark plug back in. Give it a few pulls. I'm kind of scared of this thing, guys, to be honest. Here, open the carburetor, give it some air. Oh. It's a good workout anyway. Let's try it again. It's pretty wet, not that bad. I won't spray any gas in there this time. We'll see if it makes any difference. Oh, the choke was fully on, so maybe it was starting for air. All right, I got a good feeling, guys. All right. Well, maybe we'll do a compression test here. All right, so we're at 0. Let's see. Well, that's why it's not going to start, folks. 60 psi. That sucks. But hey, it's the small engine game. Yeah, even with the throttle all the way open, we're getting 65 psi. So it's cooked. Let's take it apart. Hey everybody, I wasn't ready to give up on my Eskimo Ice Auger. The other day I got bored, I pulled it apart just to see if I could find out what the real problem was. Burnt piston and cylinder, totally scored. So I cleaned it up as best as I could. I used the wire wheel, I used some sandpaper on the cylinder. It's not a Tecumseh cylinder, so it's basically just like bare metal. And I did my best to try and sand it and sort it out. Put it all back together here. It's more compression for sure. I had the meter on it and it was registering 80 psi. So it runs. It runs on half choke. Not enough compression to run with the carb all the way open. Free flowing, perfect air fuel mixture. So I wasn't ready to quit. I went and ordered a set of new piston rings. Brand new, right from Tecumseh. So I said I'd give it one final try. These were only 10 bucks. Had to wait a couple weeks for shipping. Not a big deal. So I'm going to show you how I take it apart. I'll show you what I cleaned up. I'll scuff the cylinder again, install the new piston rings, and hopefully that brings our compression number up, and that'll be able to use this in the foreseeable future. Let's get to it. If you hear some noise in the background, I apologize. That's the heater. It's keeping me warm out here. It's about minus 20 Celsius. Pretty easy to disassemble this TC300. Okay, the coil. This is a bit tricky here. This is, I believe, what is a governor setup when wind or the air that passes through provides tension against this flap. It governs the carburetor. So just like to keep exactly a close eye on what is happening here. Yeah, it's a better view. So it's spring fed. Keep the flywheel off now. Oh wow, look at that. So this has been previously taken apart. Some damage here. Looks like there's still enough threads, but it's not great. See if I can take this off without wrecking anything. There it goes. Just like that. Okay, so I'm going to unhook the gas tank first. Pair of needle nose. Fuel tank is off. Muffler is on, but we can remove the casing out here first. Now, let's pay close attention to how this is set up, because this is tricky. Maybe I'd like to take the carburetor off so that I don't disturb any of the springs that are set up here. It's 1/4 inch. All right, so I'm going to leave this entirely by itself, one spot here. Okay, so these appear to be a Torx. Looks like a bit sloppy. It might be a T30, but a T27 should work. So let's crack these. As you can see, these are different. So someone has been in here before messing around with this thing. I expect nothing less. This is 30 years old now. All right, let's see. So you can still see there's some scuff marks here. So I'll clean this up with some sandpaper. And let me show you the rings though. Let's do the rings. A comparison. See this piston I've cleaned up. It's shiny now. You can see where there's some scoring and some grooves. I'm not expecting this to be perfect, but look at how loose this ring is. How easy it comes off. Okay, so these are the rings I just pulled off. And these are the new ones. So as you can see, these gaps are much larger here. This one's kind of deformed, it's not even sitting flat. These are much thicker relatively to piston rings, and the gaps are consistent. So I have no doubt that these are going to provide better compression, but I still am going to take some time and clean this cylinder up. Okay, so not awesome, just under 90, but let's start it and see if we can get the rings to set in and get that number up. Seems like we have fuel. I'm gonna bump the idle up a bit, see if that, get it to idle. Yeah, it doesn't like with the choke all the way off. Could be a carb tuning issue though too, right? So let's start at half one. Let's start at 1 out and see what happens. Well, it's not a lake, but it's as good as we're going to get for now, for testing.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. As you saw there, it seems to be working pretty well. So that's just over 90 PSI. I'd like to see it around 100 or a little bit more than 100. I think I could probably achieve that if I used a cylinder hone and yeah, cleaned it up a little bit more. But for now, runs pretty good. Looking forward to getting it out on the lake and giving it a try. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.